cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Hey everybody, good morning. Tech Shamans here. Me and Anthony are going to talk about some cool stuff that's going on in the tech world. Actually, some of it's cool and some of it's not. I guess depends on your. It's your perspective.
There is a wide range of stuff here to discuss today, and there are some kind of good news, some funny news, but then there's also things that people really need to be watching out for.
You want to hear some funny news? My TV just went off. I can't even see where. I guess I'm going to have to look forward from now on.
Oh my God!
I'm so sorry to hear that. That's okay. I'll get up.
Wow.
I'll get up, turn it off, and turn it on me. I know. Oh, I got coffee. I got coffee grounds in my coffee. That's gross.
Coffee grounds in
Anyway, hey, good morning, everybody.
Meanwhile, back at the cameras.
So, I'm going to throw him a curveball. So today's show is brought to you by Call 7.
What?
Call 7.
No
That's
way.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Wow, I was totally not expecting that.
I know. You weren't
because
expecting
you said
that
you were going to throw me a curveball.
Yeah, I was going to see if you have. Call7.com is one of our sponsors today. Call 7 is a national provider of cloud telecom services, including cloud phone services, presence when you're available in your company, anywhere, anytime, desktop and mobile apps to keep you informed and in touch with your people. Built-in secure Zoom conferencing, which we're actually going to talk about here in a short second. Whiteboard and screen sharing, chat and instant messages. Prices starts as low as $15.77 per month. When you get 1 month free if you sign up using the code WeBeam. Why pay more for less?
Less than $16 a month. That is a hell of a deal.
And they do a good job. They take care of our our phones here.
Well, let me guess. Small business?
Small business.
Support your small business.
There
you have it.
But I'm white owned. Sorry.
What's that?
I'm white owned. Sorry. I had to go there. You know me.
No. I wouent claim I know you.
Causing trouble everywhere I can. So let's jump. Hey, how was your weekend?
We went antiquing. I love antiquing.
That's just the opposite of tech.
It's old tech.
Old tech.
That's all. It's just old tech. Yeah, and
sometimes old tech is cool.
Yeah, I mean, try to find a really good piano stool. Modern one, you can't. You got to go get one at an antique shop. And I found one that it looked like it was brand new.
Really?
It's clearly over 100 years old. I mean, even the little glass balls in the feet, okay, absolutely immaculate.
Were they clear?
It's like, yeah.
They weren't yellowed out?
No,
typically,
nothing, not even dusty.
Wow,
not a scratch on it, and it adjusts so perfectly for your height because it has this really, lots of thread and so you can get it exactly where you want it. And my wife uses it for her 1911-12 sewing machine that she has. She has a Singer.
Is it kind of like the stool we have in the back with the claw feet?
Yeah.
That scroll up?
Yeah.
I love that.
So we love our old Singer sewing machines. Although she's got, the brand new Janome that she'll set that one and it'll be doing the monogramming in the other room and it'll just be running itself. It's all computerized. And then she goes in, she flips on the, the Singer and it's like.
Is that the kind where you sit and you push the pedal?
Well, she has one of those for power outage.
Had one of those.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep. For power. Actually, we have two of those for power outage, just in case.
Right.
One of them is a Sphinx model. They all have different decals on them.
Yes.
And one of them has a Sphinx, which is really cool. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, meanwhile nobody came here to hear about
back on the wrench.
I guarantee it.
Batman. Okay, so Zoom just gave some free users some frightening news, as is according to the headline, other small business tech news.
If you're not doing anything wrong, you've got nothing to be afraid of.
So this came from Gene Marks over at Forbes,
Yep.
and I mean we could have went to Zoom and got it. So, so once I read the article, so it looks to me like Zoom is saying, "Hey, look, we've done what we can for free.
Yes,
but if you want encrypted back in, then you're going to have to pay for it."
Right.
Which is, I read the whole thing, so we're just getting on to this. We're going to take that whole article and go with it.
Yep.
Basically, if you want encryption, You got to pay for it.
Yeah, if you want privacy.
Right.
Okay, you have to pay for it because otherwise, too many people are using the platform and they have no way of knowing who they are because the only thing you do is put in an email address.
Right.
And you can be a terrorist, you can be Antifa, you could be Al Qaeda. God only knows. He's going to go turn on his monitor. Hi. We could have done a cutaway right then, but whatever. But no, they have, and to me it makes sense. The person writing the article is going off on them because instead of just making everybody's free and then letting people, forcing people to use a full login ID and validation of your identification, they're saying no, we're just going to hold it over here. And so if you want that stuff, you got to pay for it because guess what? Zoom is a business. Oh my God, who would know such a thing? Okay, and they need to make money. And I do not have an issue with them saying, you know what, you want privacy, buy it. I wish Google would do that. I wish Facebook would do that. Say, you know what, you want privacy, buy it. I would take the paid version if they stayed off my feed, weren't listening to me when I'm talking about, buying a hedgehog, and then suddenly hedgehog ads show up in my Facebook feed. And then in my Google search results, all over the ads are everywhere all of a sudden. No, that's not appropriate.
Right.
So let me opt out, please.
Yeah.
I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
And that's what they're letting people do.
Yeah,
They're letting them opt out.
Exactly. So, I mean, everything just can't be free in this world.
No.
As much as we would love to say it could be free, it just can't be free.
You have to learn to value things. I think that's one of the big lessons that's coming out of all this.
I think YouTube is going to, YouTube is eventually going to start charging.
I don't know who they're going to start charging. Users?
Yep.
Or?
Like people like us who we park our videos on there for our
that's not users.
Well,
okay, you're talking about content creators.
Yeah.
And charging people for space.
Right.
I kind of get that, but I mean, some of these people, think about the volume they have. So like you, I mean, my God, the volume of stuff you have on there.
And terabytes and
yeah,
terabytes.
I mean, you end up using it as a
CDN.
Basically a remote storage. Okay, and
I used to remember. Just think, all that content that's on there now used to be on my server.
Yeah. Well,
I had a server
not
that
all
sat
the
there.
content on YouTube. That's not what he means.
No,
He just
no.
means his
all the
content
WeBeam
on
TV,
YouTube.
all that content was sitting on our servers.
Yeah.
And when GoDaddy came in and said
massive.
that you got to get this off.
Exactly. It's enormous amounts of information.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but that's a big one. I think that what's going to happen is people are going to, it's the cost of doing business.
Exactly.
You don't get electric for free. You don't get internet for free. You don't get your phones for free.
Nope.
It just, they don't give you paper for your printer for free. They don't give you ink for free. So this is just another cost of doing business.
And we've got to start to realize that these things have value.
Right.
And that's the fact. And so pay for the value you're getting.
And if you don't want to use them, go use Chrome. Google has one now. And let me see, Facebook has one. And Twitter's coming out with one now. Video chat. The video
using
platform.
Zoom. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you don't want to use Zoom, you got plenty of.
Yeah.
Microsoft has one. Oh, wait a minute. You got to pay for that.
Yeah.
Because you have to have Microsoft.
Well, look,
Office.
I'm sorry. If you're using Facebook or Google, you're paying for it.
Oh.
You're paying for it by giving them all your data.
Yep.
You might as well not be encrypted. You might as well have the free version of Zoom at that point.
Exactly.
Okay, because they're gonna harvest all your data.
Yep. So this next story we're going to talk about right here
Yep.
is I'm trying to get rid of I just hate the ads. The future of real estate could be virtual open houses on Facebook. Coldwell Banker's CEO explains why in-person industry needs to embrace going digital.
Yep.
So I've said this for 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As long as
we've been predicting it and always been wrong about the execution date because it keeps getting put off for no really good reason except momentum.
Right. And as much as I know that we have clients that are realtors. They're gonna hate this because, in a way, I think
they're going to have to adapt.
If they embrace it the right way,
yes,
they can make this a big deal.
Yes, they can.
COVID shutting everybody down, all the realtors had to go to virtual tours.
Right.
So it made people like me important because we go in, we film. We take pictures. We put a slideshow together. We put a Matterhorn together, whatever, the whole 3D thing, which there's other things out there than the Matterhorn now that your realtors really need to start looking into. But yeah, it's really the way to go. Yeah. You don't have to worry about inconveniencing the homeowner, going, "Hey, you got to get out of the house for a couple hours because I got a guy, someone." I see that's when I sold our last house, I had a real issue with people being in my house that I didn't know with my stuff there.
Yeah, that's a little funky.
You didn't know, are they healthy? I mean, even back then,
are they healthy?
COVID,
are they splitting up? And is one of them rifling your room while the other one's keeping the real estate agent busy? Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, these are just
to me, open houses. My wife does them with her realtors because my wife's a mortgage person. Yep. She'll go sit with her realtors and pre-qualify whole 9 yards. But if you make it easier, simple, faster, and in today's millennials and Gen Zs, they don't want to waste time. They want to. Look online.
I don't need the drive time.
Right.
Give me the run through.
Right. They want
to.
Exactly.
They will. And here's the factor that they're not accounting for, is there's a coolness factor to it. And there's a prestige factor, and I'm doing it this way. And when they go out there, they're going to expect it to look like what you videoed. And so the more video you have, the more detail you have, the more likely you are going to get someone who goes, yes, that is exactly right for me.
Right.
Don't hide the scratches. Let them see it, warts and all. But when it's done and they've looked at it, they don't want to then say, oh yeah, they fooled me. Mm-hmm. Because nobody wants to be the one to blow the whistle on Ponzi and say, "Wait a minute, I got duped by Ponzi."
Well, if you look at it the right way, first you're going to do the virtual tour. Then you're going to hire an inspector.
Yeah.
You don't have to hire an inspector. You have to have an appraisal. But I always say you hire a good
I have no idea
inspector.
How you can say you don't
and let
have
that inspector,
to hire an inspector. Yeah, you really
because
do.
legally
I know legally you don't have to, but yeah, you
so
have
you
to.
get that inspector goes in there and he does all his deal.
Yep.
And then he comes back to you and say, hey, before you go and order that appraisal and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
This is what I found.
Yeah.
It's a great house. Or, you can put Holmes out there and let that man go through it, and Christ, he'll find everything wrong there is under the sun. Yeah. But if you get a good inspection, then you move forward, then the appraisal, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, it's okay. Me, I want to touch, feel, stuff like that. But I also know that.
Yeah, but what a great way to narrow it down.
Yep.
At least get it down to the last 1, 2, or 3.
This will save realtors.
Oh my God! And so embracing
hours
this
of driving it's the older realtors that will not embrace this.
And that's fine. Okay, guess what? Right. They're going to be retiring soon anyway. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, and you know what? And it's not even older. It's people who are stuck in their ways. Because I've seen some older people, 60, 70, just latching onto stuff like this.
Right.
And going, oh my God, my life is so much easier now. They're realizing I don't have to drive out there and go through all that crap anymore. Yeah. Give it to me.
Yep.
And so it's not about age, it's about mindset.
Well, I mean, by the time we bought the house we're in now, before we found that house, we had probably looked at literally, no kidding, 20 to 25 houses.
Wow.
And when my wife called me with this, and I said, I don't care anymore. You know what we need. I don't care.
Right.
I just don't care. If that's what you want, that's what you want.
Wow.
Get it. I didn't want to. She goes, well, you got to come see this. I said, no, I don't.
I think we looked at 3.
No. We looked at so many different ones. And everything is like, but when I drove into this one, I had a place for my trailers. I had a place for a whole little warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I had a place for the RV.
When you find the quirky one, like ours, with all the buildings and, it's like,
and
love it. We're done.
And we looked at 2 out by you.
I know, yeah.
So,
but then you find out we live there. So
no. You know what? Someone told my wife that don't buy there because right past behind that road over there is the trailer parks.
Yeah,
and they're not, and that's Crack City.
Yeah, except they're like retirement trailers, and we never hear anything out of them.
Yeah.
So, and you can't see them. They're like, 2 developments over.
Yep.
But oh well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back in the world of technology.
So this is kind of now to me, this is going to be kind of cool, I think, but I just don't know how far out it's going to be. Google Drones will drop library books to students.
I just see lawsuits. I mean, now they may not actually drop them from very high in the air, so
No.
that could be different.
Yeah, I think these are the
but-
ones they supposedly. I don't know how they're going to. My thing of it. Okay, my.
First of all, cage the props. You got to cage the props if you're going to have them anywhere near the public.
Oh yeah, so Rob in my ear. Funny, yeah. Student killed by War and Peace.
Just the
of
war
all-
part, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, most books
Tolstoy held
that the kids-
responsible.
yeah, exactly.
Asked to apologize.
Okay, so is this okay? So if this is something that's coming,
Yeah.
has this been the reason they have pushed all the private citizens to get their drone license
I think
to clear the airways to
for drone delivery
for
and
drone deliveries?
Well, that makes sense. And I hadn't thought about it that way. I just figured it was typical overreach. That's me. It's just because I go to Best Buy, I buy a drone, I bring it home, and I'm supposed to register it.
with the
And it's like I'm never going to fly the thing anywhere off my own property.
Right.
I'm never going to go more than 100 feet in the air, and yet you want me to register this thing?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
It's my drone, it's my property. Why am I having to register this?
Yeah, but
and the reason being, what if we end up with drone delivery? But even then, what is my registering it going to stop me
Tracking.
from flying it?
Right.
There's not tracking anything.
No, they're tracking. What they're doing is they're trying to track how many people have bought drones and put them up. And it's only a weight thing. It's a weight class. So if you go buy a DJI 3 or a 2 or a 1, like the old ones, then those are heavy enough to...
I've got a big one.
Okay, and so I went back and looked at the study on the whole drone thing, and there people that were flying them into air traffic control
Right.
areas
Yeah, control space.
is not as... It was
No, it's minuscule.
minuscule.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it's the way for the government to control what's.
I mean, look, I
in
can understand
airspace.
tracking, in your neighborhood if you've got such and such. But if they're looking at drones that might be committing crimes, and so they can look to see who owns drones in that area, and your drone gets taken down or found, and so they grab it and they can look who's licensed that drone.
Right.
I guess that kind of makes sense, but I don't know. That's always been a little weird for me. But the idea
always
of
was.
delivering stuff with drones, we've been heading that way for a while now.
Right.
And so seeing libraries do it is kind of cool.
And I think it's an overreach to sit there and have someone have to go and spend money on getting licensed to go out and film something that you want to put on YouTube or Facebook, which you can't do. As a private citizen, so say you fly above your property
Right.
and you zoom around and you record it all and it's really cool. I'm gonna put this on Facebook. You can get fined for that.
Okay. Because I might have caught my neighbor's yard.
No, because you're not allowed to do that. That's the commercial. Go read the commercial. Like I said, I spent $3,500 going for that UCC exempt. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
And now it's no good. Now I had to go back and get relicensed, which we did, which is not a problem. I went and took the course, took the
Right.
test, passed the test, not a big deal.
Right.
But that was crap as far as I'm concerned. I had more years of driving. I've been flying the RC stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
So why I had to sit there and go through all this BS.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it, say you go buy your drone, your DJ, and I'm just saying them as they're not a sponsor of the show or anything. I'm just saying DJ because that's an easy name to say.
Yeah.
And you go and you buy it, and you spend the $10 and you register it with the FCC, not FCC, but FAA, right? And you get your numbers and you write your numbers on there, or they want it in big bold, but whatever. I just wrote mine on there. It's easier. But that's as far as it goes. Now, the rest of it is for your enjoyment only. So you go somewhere, and say you just take it with you on vacation.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, this is really cool. You go up, you take some pics, you do some video, and then you come back and you put a little comment, oh, this was my vacation. The minute you put that on social media, on any platform whatsoever, you just broke the law. Yeah.
That's crazy because
is.
how many of these things are being marketed to people
For-
and being sold specifically?
Selfie. I'm gonna take a selfie
You
with
have
it.
you have the one that tracks with you while you're skateboarding or
Yep.
riding your bike, and it stays right behind you.
As long as you put that on your computer and you do it for your own process, or put it on a DVD and you watch it, as long as you don't go online with it.
Yeah, but they're saying, and then post it on YouTube and
Right.
use this footage
Right.
to show, because you see these companies out there making the those one-wheel skateboard, videos, and they're doing all that, and they're using all drone footage for that.
Yep.
Who isn't using drone footage for that?
Yeah, but every one of those people that have, the minute you, in any way, shape, or form, because the minute you put it on social media, you've gone commercial. You have to have a license for that.
Oh, that's insane.
I know, it's stupid, isn't it?
That is insane.
Even
if you're not monetized.
Even if you're not monetized.
That's crazy.
Doesn't matter.
Absolute craziness.
Right. Anyway.
But again, like I said, overreach.
So anyway, that's the whole. I don't know. I think this is crazy that.
If anybody out there has any more information on this, send it in. I know John's going to give me some more afterwards, but if you know anything more, please send it in.
About what?
About this.
The drones?
Yeah.
I can give you all the information you want. I
know you can.
I had to set through the stupid course.
I know, but I'm trying to engage the audience.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
John?
Tell me if I'm wrong.
Thank you.
Change my
At
mind.
least Rob put up the email address,
There you go.
techshamans@weavingtv.com.
So this next one is, let me get rid of this. Popular Mechanic.
Oh, look at that.
Whatever.
A pop-up ad.
So now Amazon is banning its controversial facial recognition software.
Yep. And
Because Facebook already beat you to it. That's the only reason you're abandoning it.
yeah, it's
Seriously.
because somebody else has better software, so why bother? But if we're starting to see Amazon run a little bit like Google, it's like, hey, let's go invent something. Okay, we put some money into it and we announced it, and now we're just not going to do it anymore. Bye.
I think
Google Chats?
Yeah,
Yes.
the days after IBM took the unprecedented step to halt in all development research and sales in its facial recognition technology over concerns that it fairly targets people of color, of course. Amazon said it would put 1 year moratorium on recognition. Look at it spelled with a K. Recognition.
Wow.
That's kind of funny that you can put the Rico in there. Its own widely implemented facial recognition software. And Amazon was selling it to the police departments.
That's the real trick.
That's it right there.
Yeah. And it is not it's, I don't mind crime prevention, but it's so easy to flip over and start violating, Fourth Amendment. I remember getting pulled over one day. Okay, I'm driving down McMullen Booth, and I got pulled over, and I'm like, "What's wrong, officer?" "Oh, just a routine check."
Oh, they routinely just pull people over for no reason.
And it's like, yeah, did you know your driver's license expired? I'm like, hold on a minute. You ran my plate without any probable cause. You were sitting behind me at a traffic light and just decided to run there's nothing wrong with my car. I wasn't doing anything wrong, and they just ran my plate.
Yep.
And so you see that, and it's like, that was right there, was 100% violation of my Fourth Amendment rights. Okay, now she did not give me a ticket for it, because guess what? That would have been a lawsuit.
Yep.
Right there for just routine.
And they let you drive away?
Check. Oh, of course she did.
On an
expired license.
An expired license.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But it was wow. I mean, what a feeling, though. Routine check. Here we are with this software. It's routinely checking everyone walking down the street.
Well, like in places like Washington D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, they have vans that drive by and they will ting your plate. It reads the plate whether you have outstanding tickets or warrants,
which is technically illegal search and seizure.
How about that?
Yeah, it's it's a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights.
And you could. Rights.
Well, there's a lot of people that were saying that the traffic cams, at the stoplights. There were two issues with those. One was the violation, because they are passively recording everything that goes through. Then they upgraded them to where they're firing off and sending off the automated tickets, and those are an issue as well because the timing on them was not adjusted right, and so they were sending out millions of dollars in fake tickets.
Yep.
And collecting the money because it's easier just to pay the $400 than fight it.
Right.
So crazy stuff.
All right. So Okay, this is kind of. I want to get a funny one, right? So, I want all you Androids. I don't believe this. I want all you Androids users to go find this. Why this image is causing?
It's probably true.
Androids phones to crash, and this must be the picture right here.
Yep.
Now, why someone is putting that as their
home screen?
I don't know why.
Well,
why would they do that?
It's a beautiful pic.
No, it's not.
We can disagree on that.
It's something. There's some rotting island out there in the middle of a bunch of mountains.
Right. It kind of typifies. Never mind its social commentary. No, it is. It's a nice looking pic, but the phone cannot handle.
Yeah, because of the color
nuance,
space.
Right. It can't handle the nuance of the imagery, and it's causing basically anything that isn't an iPhone to shut down.
Wow.
Yep. Man,
wow.
I think that's just makes me want to send it to all my friends. It's basically a smartphone test. It's a smartphone IQ test.
Yeah, because
it can handle this.
Even more in the article it says, "Have you ever seen a double rainbow all the way, like a pure double rainbow, double rainbow? Your brain probably felt like it was on a sensory overload to look at the colors." Mm-hmm. So that's I don't know. I'd like to see someone with. I'm going to save this. Because I want to see someone, I want to see an Android. I got a couple Android users. Yeah. So
you're going to have to find a really high resolution image probably in order to make it work.
Yeah, probably.
Otherwise, it'll wash it out.
Yeah.
And that's probably a low res right there. But you know better than I do.
So we talked about this last week.
Wow. Yeah.
So, okay. Brave browser caught redirecting URLs for cache. Mm-hmm. Now, this wasn't the problem I was having. I was having problems with
viruses.
Yep. It just
this is interesting because Brave, part of their platform, part of their promise is that if we will redirect to people that are in our community, to our creatives first. Okay, that's what we do.
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, I know this is happening to me, but it's what I pay for with Brave. Is that they're going to do this stuff, and I know it is, and I can limit it to how much I see, and that's fine. But the idea that somehow maybe they need to just disclose it better.
Right.
But they were redirecting. I mean, Bitcoin is a big part of the Brave community, and the guys who started Brave have their own Bitcoin accounts, and this was funneling through their broker, so they were making money.
How about that?
Excuse me, imagine that. They were making money off free traffic.
I mean,
if my name were Google, that would be fine. If my name were Facebook, that would be fine. But if you're Brave, oh, God, no, we have to shut you down.
Well, I think the only problem I had with Brave was the fact that I kept getting viruses.
I know, and I think that's kind of strange. I don't know. I guess browser pass-through. But again, caveat emptor.
Right.
You get what you pay for. Yep. Oh, it's free.
Free is free. Yep. All right. So the next thing is Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, and Google renew pledge to fight online child exploitation. I'm completely behind this.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a little hard to decide what is and what isn't. I mean, you can open up a story, about child porn or something about child exploitation, and now those words and images are now on your hard drive because you were reading a legit story about it.
Yep.
And so it's hard to and then it's like, have you now funneled so you don't want to look at anything about that,
right?
Because I don't want any of that stuff on my computer. I don't want to look that I was looking at that stuff on my computer.
Yep.
And so
I told a kid yesterday, one of my nieces, that everything that goes on your phone, that whether you take a picture, you receive a picture, imagery, I said, is always there forever. Because there's software that'll go back from the when that phone was first started.
Yep.
Those images are still there.
Yeah.
And she went, "What?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
And my
delete
nephew's
does
like,
not mean delete.
My nephew's like, "You're kidding me." I said, "Oh no." I said, I actually have a software in studio that I can put the phone to, and I can pull out every image that's ever been on that phone since the day it was turned on and registered.
And I mean, if you have, an iPhone, then you're well aware of the fact that you go and delete something and it shows up again the next week because it actually backed it up to the cloud and then shoved it back down to your phone again, saying, "No, you didn't really mean to delete this."
Right, exactly.
And so it's like there's backup copies. There's all kinds of things going on. So being super careful with this stuff. The problem is because you have the software that'll do that, because they're doing all this stuff to go in and find and root out evil and that you can't even go in and learn about how to root out the evil, learn what kind of images are involved in this, learn what exploitation. I mean, you also get the crazy part where, you take a picture of yourself when you're 14 and it's still on your phone when you're 18, and now you've got child porn on your phone.
Yeah.
Because you got a picture of yourself.
People don't realize
it's
that.
like, it's me. Doesn't matter. That's a minor.
So the one of the things that I think they're having the problems with is 4.5 billion people in 2020 are the number of people online.
Yep.
And it's becoming an overwhelming thing. I mean, even on YouTube, when YouTube did the whole you got to say, is this meant for children, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. Even it's really weird. Even on my I have a church that we help them with a YouTube channel. They have to mark that for not for children.
Yeah.
Because if you put it for children and something gets in there and YouTube's algorithms skew what you said in any way, shape, or form.
Yep. Then you're
it's
toast.
A bad thing. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's really kind of messed up.
I just want to look at that stat for a second. 4.5 billion people are online.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And
I didn't know there were 2.5 billion people in Sun City. That's where all the old people live in Florida, by the way.
Yeah. Yes, they are. So
Okay.
that's just amazing that many people.
Yeah.
Oh, I did that twice. Okay, so we're coming up to what you want to talk about, which
trolls.
is and we're not talking about these kind of trolls.
Well, no, definitely not those kinds of trolls.
Maybe
I
those
was hoping
trolls.
you'd find something from like Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, no, you pulled out the little weirdo trolls.
Yeah, those
okay,
are
that's
crazy
fine. That's
trolls.
fine.
Let's talk about trolls.
No, let's talk about trolls. And I'm back in the day, way back when. The biggest thing we had to deal with were copyright and patent trolls.
Right.
Okay, and they were a nightmare. You'll find most of those patent troll attorneys are out of Texas. East Texas has very lax. There's one district in Texas where they will just take all the patent troll suits all day long, and anybody that wants to file one, they'll go ahead and take the money. It is a huge moneymaker for that district, even though 99.999% of those patent troll lawsuits were frivolous, but the courts didn't care because they're just making money on the filings.
Yep.
So they're all getting raises and driving Cadillacs. So they're happy. And it's Texas, so they got the big horns on the front of the Cadillac.
big longhorn steer.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, but of course, that has evolved. And we saw, over the last several years, we had a big influx in the number of people suing over imagery in music.
Right.
We have a very good friend of ours that is an owner of an online radio station. It's nerd, geek, music, and talk all the time. It's called Krypton Radio, and you can go to kryptonradio.com. They are not a sponsor, but it is an awesome online radio network.
It is
great stuff. Gene is a great guy. And about every month or two, he's getting a lawsuit filed against him for using imagery or audio that they have the license for.
Right.
And it doesn't matter because they still have to pay for it. And these are trolls. These are real trolls. They hide out under the bridge and wait for anybody to come across. And what is their latest scam? Their latest scam is ADA compliance. That's Americans with Disability Act. Compliance of websites.
Right.
And if you hold your website, if you're a business and you've got 15 or more employees for 20 weeks a year or something like that, okay, then you hold yourself out as being open to the public, and that's what you are. And so therefore you are serving the public. Therefore you are bound by the ADA rules of what your website has to include, and what those rules include is completely ambiguous.
And that's the problem.
There is no list.
There's no standard. because there's several different machines that read these sites, and they all decipher differently.
Exactly.
So, in my personal opinion, until those are all on the same page, where they can get us a written rule of standards, then you can't come after us.
Well, I disagree. Okay. Here's my thought on it, and that is find one of those machines, okay, and prove that you are at least compliant with one of those machines. So you have shown best efforts.
Oh, no. I agree. I agree.
Okay, all right.
What I'm saying is that, normally if you're going to say, well, these are the rules, and you must abide by these rules.
Yes.
Give me the rules.
Right. And if any of these reach that point where they're being challenged in a serious court, which means you've got to appeal it out of Texas.
Right.
Okay. Because they're just,
or Florida.
Yeah.
There's a guy over in the East Coast of Florida.
Well, he's filing, or he's threatening to file.
Right.
Okay. He's not actually filed anything yet, I don't believe.
Right.
But that's the whole point. They have some patsy, who they've set up, who's disabled, who's now their client, who has been, offended by your website because you don't have an alt tag on a photo, or here's the crazy one. You have your H tags, which are your headline tags and what size to put the font. You don't have them in descending order within your post. So your headline for the article is H1. Underneath that, if you have any subheadings, they have to be H2. Subheadings under that have to be H3, H4. Right. If you have any of them out of order, because it just looks better, you're out of compliance.
Right.
So, matter of fact, we just redid a website for a client because they got, the threatening letters saying, "Oh, look," but they get a patsy. They claim, they file a suit. I've now seen where it's almost it's not even the lawsuit part. Is that they are contacting people saying, "Hey, your website's not compliant. Look, we proved it, but we'll go ahead and fix it if you give us $1,200."
Right.
Okay, and it's like, really? No. If you have a decent WordPress site, you actually have a free solution you can use.
Yep.
And we've got that up on the screen. And what it does is you install this. And if you use the free version and you've already kind of had in your head that you're going to make some of these changes, make sure your H tags are right, make sure you have alt on, alt tags on your photos. What that is if a blind person's looking at your website, and if a blind person is visiting your website, let's use the right words.
I was going to say, how can they look at my website?
If they're visiting your website and you have a photo there that's actually important, it explains something, then it's important that you have the alt description of it that says that, because their computer will be geared to read that to them out loud. And so this is a completely common sense accommodation. So you go through, you make sure all your images have that, or it simply says image for, decoration purposes. Okay. For aesthetic appeal, whatever you want to put in there. But, having all of those things in there, first of all, they also increase your SEO,
right?
Okay, because they're all categorized properly and they say exactly what they are.
Yep.
And that's how Google Images finds pictures within a website, is because the alt tags are very clear about what the picture is. But if you've gone through and done all that, this particular tool that we have up, this will allow you to get your top 50 returns, 50 things wrong in your website. Now, when we finished building this website, before we ran it, it only had 4 returns. So we were that close.
No, good.
Okay, it only came back with 4. We went in and fixed those 4.
Yep.
3 of them were not even mandatory fixes.
Right.
Okay, but we fixed them anyway.
And in WordPress, what's even great, you can go into your gallery.
Yep.
Or your then
your media library.
Yeah, you click on the image, and over on the right is all.
And you can just go ahead, fill it in, go to the next one, fill it in, go to the next one, fill it in. Okay, you don't have to go page by page by page and find them all.
Nope.
You can just go straight to your media library and fix a lot of these things. Because what's going to matter is you showing best effort.
Right.
If you can walk in and go, I have my report here that I had emailed to me that says my site was clean. I'm sorry if they ran a different software,
right?
But Judge, my site was clean.
Yep.
Okay, I met all these ADA requirements, and so, how do you find someone guilty when they're standing there with a report from the service that says it's clean?
Yep.
That's going to be your key. And we can go in. We can retroactively repair a website for someone.
Right.
We can you can go out and you can get this plugin yourself. It's an awesome plugin, and it's kind of easy. It's a little loud in the advertising because they really want you to buy the upgrade.
Yeah.
Because the upgrade will go in and fix a lot of the things itself.
Right.
It will go in and add alt tags. But to me, you want to make sure that your images are alt tagged properly.
Right.
Because you just don't want to go in and put cosmetic. No. You want it to say what it really
helps
is.
you with your SEO.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, what I saw in one of the guidelines, and this was crazy, okay, is
Here's a good article.
your alt tags, your website
Yep.
has to be put up with 16 different translations available.
That ain't gonna happen.
I mean, some of this stuff is just crazy. Okay,
Right.
are you going to tell me I can get Best Buy in Klingon? No, I can't get the Best Buy in Klingon.
Right.
Okay, you're not. Nobody's actually complying with that kind of a rule, and so if they need to, go use Google Translate. Have a nice day. Okay, at some point. You can't expect everybody who's out there trying to run a business, but this is really what it's coming to, and it drives me crazy.
Well, I think
watching small businesses run into these roadblocks.
Yeah, I think if once if this really gets bad enough, people will fight back, and when they push back, when you have enough people pushing back, going, okay, look, fine, this ain't gonna happen. It's like when Google made us go to, and it was Google.
Yeah,
Google made us go to a web version of our website. Yeah. I'm like, no, I hate the web version because it loses the aesthetic that I built.
Right. You mean a mobile version?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Google in order to maintain your rankings in the search engines and the search results, you had to be mobile optimized.
Right.
And I mean that's fine. You lose the aesthetic. It may not be great, but I'll tell you what, it certainly makes it functional. And so they were right to a certain extent, but honestly, let the market sort that out. Don't sit there and say, no, we're going to tell you what you have to do in order to get ranked. That to me, no, I don't. And I guess maybe they felt like people who found mobile optimized websites were happier customers of Google.
Right.
Which, of course, is the only reason they do anything, is because they want to retain eyeballs.
Yep.
So, all right. What are we off to next?
Whew, yay.
That was fun.
That was
except for the
fun.
part right after I started talking.
No, it's a big deal. I mean, because you're rebuilding my wife's site now because.
Yep.
It was for it's for education purposes.
It's already done. I finished that on Friday.
He knocked that thing out.
Yeah.
I was going to say something else, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one I find kind of funny. All right. Another innovative company has given up on revolutionizing the mobile photography.
That picture is hilarious.
God
oh my
have
God.
mercy. And
I mean, I'm dealing with my 3 cameras here.
Right.
And so, where am I? There I am.
See, that's what it's going to come out.
I got 3 cameras on this thing.
That's what it's. A camera's going to start looking like this, right? I mean, this is what camera's going to start looking like. It's crazy. It's not a phone. It's a camera. Okay, so here's the thing. I get this, and I'm actually glad because there's too many people out there in the world going, well, I don't need to buy a real camera. I don't need to buy a kind of camera. I just use my phone because it's just as good and burr, 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 burr. And I'm like, no. Those are great as backups. We use them as backups.
Sure.
I'm not saying they're not good as backups.
No. And they're getting better and better every day.
Never come, but they're not because they're going to stop. There's camera makers, lens makers that are going, enough's enough. It's a phone.
Yeah.
It's not to be meant to be used because what happens is people go out and they'll shoot video and they'll shoot pictures, come back, and then they go and put it in their editing software, and all of a sudden they're finding the minute problems like grain that's there, or it's overexposed, or it's underexposed, and then they go, well, this is a piece of crap. There's a lens in here that's junk, and then what happens is the lens makers who are going, hey, you need to go buy a pro camera or a pro video camera are not getting sales anymore because everybody's going. They're kind of, what's that old thing? You chop your nose off and just spite your face. So
basically they're eating the seed corn.
Yeah. So it's about time. Look, a phone's a phone. Use it as a phone. It's not made to, granted, again, we use our 10s and 11s as backup video and backup pictures just in case.
Yeah.
Right. But nothing ever is going to take the place of a real honest to God video camera or a photography camera.
No, they they're not made to do that.
Back.
I'm sorry. When you look at the size of an actual video camera, and then you look at the size of that,
right?
Okay, and you say, oh, okay, you're telling me that you've crammed all that into then why do they even sell those anymore?
Right.
Unless there's a major difference.
Yep.
But the thing is, most people who are first of all. You can't see it because as soon as it goes off to Facebook, and that's what you're watching, it gets compressed, and it's 1/10 of the picture it used to be. So now, guess what? I upload my picture; it looks the same as that expensive camera. So what's the difference?
Right, exactly.
Well, it's because you're not looking at the actual images.
No, and when you put that on a big O screen,
and you put that on a big projection screen,
sucky.
It is very, very different.
Yeah, everything's good for if you're using it for web and.
I understand. I might be getting a new screen for Father's Day. I'm really excited about that for my home projection system.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, we got a new arrangement. We got trunks, and we're putting the projector in the trunks that are our new coffee table. Okay, and so, but it has it pushed back further, so we need another 10 inches on the screen. No,
you knew that was coming.
No. And so we're going to have the new screen for.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Somebody's excited.
Yeah, we don't have television at our house. When we sit down and watch, we watch a movie.
Oh, nice.
That's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, I have TVs in every room.
Yeah, we are polar opposites on that.
I know.
Amongst other things.
I watch more TV than any man should, but it's what I do for a living, so I'm constantly watching everybody else's stuff.
Yeah,
so.
you just keep telling yourself that.
Okay. All right. Well, we only got 10 minutes left. So this one I find kind of interesting, too, is WarnerMedia is getting rid of HBO Go app.
Wow.
Yep, just weeks after the HBO Max, which added already confusing HBO product lineup of HBO, HBO Go, HBO Now. WarnerMedia is making some changes in an attempt to reduce some of the confusion. Yep. Which app is for which purpose?
So hopefully they'll all just have one app.
So a short primer, HBO Max. Before I go further, so what they're doing, there's basically we will see. We have HBO Go, HBO Max, HBO. Just make one platform.
Yep.
Put on your phone or put on your laptop, put your tablet, and that one would be
and then if you want, have levels within that. But don't sit there and make 3 different apps. That's crazy.
Don't.
I have the same thing with, I think Evernote does that. They've got like multiple apps or something like that.
Yes, they do.
It's like,
why?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Give me one.
Right.
Sort it on the back end. Now, sometimes they can't do that because I know in Apple used to have like a maximum size for your app. Mm-hmm. And if you needed to do stuff, they're like, oh, well, it's just easier to build a new app. And so they were doing that rather than figuring out how to condense their product lines.
Right.
So they put the work onto the customer. And as we've said a million times before, don't put the work on your customer. Nope. Do it for them, and they will love you.
Yep.
Give them 3 different apps they have to choose from, and they're going to switch to Cinemax.
They'll drive you insane. So, yeah. So anyway, that's gonna go bye-bye, which is that's kind of fine. Just merge everything into one thing and and then just one monthly fee, boom, you're done.
And you got it all.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. So now for a lot of people, I know we're getting ready to talk about a platform that a lot of people don't know about and don't really care, but a lot of us, including WeBeam TV, we have started streaming daily on this platform, just like we do on our because there's just sometimes you got to, and we're just casting a bigger net by doing this. Okay, so if anybody knows Twitch, right? Twitch will begin scanning and deleting clips that contain copyrighted music.
Yep.
So my question on this is, wouldn't the music inside the video be considered copyrighted? And if it is, then how are these people going to stream their gameplay without getting hit?
Good question.
Right?
Maybe. I mean, this is Twitch, and this is what they do: is they stream gameplay.
Yeah, but
okay, this is the basis of their platform.
But
if you're putting original programming out through it,
right?
Okay, I mean, this is what YouTube was doing. We have a podcast we do. We have the licensed music to it, and we went to go ahead and put the podcast out on YouTube, and YouTube dinged it because of the music.
Yep.
And so it took a month to get the first episode up.
Right.
And it's like, oh my God. And then we put up 2 more episodes and they dinged those. It's the exact same music. Every time it went up, they dinged it again. And so they held it up again and again and again and again for the exact same song clip.
Right.
Which we had the license for, which is just crazy. But this is what they are up against. And interestingly, actually, no, that was an Instagram thing they were doing with photos. We'll talk about that in a second. But no, this thing with Twitch is, I guess I'm reasonably certain they will know streaming games from streaming video. Okay?
I mean, it used to be you couldn't stream anything Nintendo at all. The minute you did, you got hammered. They shut you down literally right then and there.
Okay.
So I don't know how that's going to change because some of these streamers, they have their stream going and then they play music.
Right. Yeah, that's what they're after. Okay, is somebody with background music playing, somebody, I mean, you want to have Whitney Houston in the background, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, Rob. So Rob told me he just did a
not that I see any gamers with Whitney Houston in the background.
No, but what Rob just told me is he did a quick search on it. He's like, they're like, okay, so you can listen to your music to help you play the game better,
right? But
you can't play it during.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't let anybody else know what you're playing.
Because technically you're not allowed to run any commercials. That's
right.
Okay, so WeBeam TV we changed our platform to for no commercials.
Right.
So we do radio reads inside. That's like call7.com. We talked about them, right? It gets you away from breaking the Twitch rules.
Yep.
So and like when we play tracks or we play video or like coming attraction videos, we have to cover them so much and we have to talk over them because the letters or the wording and so I got a feeling I'm going to go back and Twitch is just going to clean, but I'm fine with that. I want you to clean it out. I don't want it to be there forever, never like on YouTube. Every about 4 or 5 days I go back and clean out all the live streams because they don't need to be there. The people, because we're streaming, and because Twitch has become a new platform for talking head, because it used to be just strictly gameplay, right? Now they do talking head, but so Twitch streamers are getting blindsided by 2-year-old copyright notices. So they're going back 2, maybe 3 years.
Wow.
Of your streams. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're in trouble. And especially these people are monetizing heavily on Twitch. Because Twitch is a platform that if, like with us, everything we do is original content. Mm-hmm. Even our intros and our outros are music that we have licensed to be able to use. Because we get all that. I have a client right now. And every time we put up his show, every time.
Mm-hmm. You get dinged.
We get dinged from Facebook.
For the same music.
For the same music.
Right.
So
which you proved to them last week was fine.
Yep. So
and they ding you again.
The client goes, well, how do we get rid of the stalker? I said, you got to change your music.
Yep.
Your intro's got to be completely changed.
Yep.
And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, well, that's what the problem is. He goes, oh, I thought you were just kidding with me. I'm like, no, we're not kidding with you. That's the only way that you're going to be able to do that because this guy has got the algorithm. It's not like the guy sitting there waiting for you to put the video up. There's an algorithm on Facebook. Facebook says, oh, hey. Yep. So technically Facebook's your stalker. Facebook then throws it to this guy. Do you want to dispute this?
Right.
And he's probably automatically, yep, I want to dispute it, even though you have rights to use it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. They just have
it's
blanket,
crazy.
blanket disputes.
Yeah, it is. It's nuts.
Yep.
Let's see. Now, I know we talked last week. Let's jump back to the Instagram thing, right?
Yeah.
So on the Instagram thing is now when people are taking pictures,
right,
and they're using other people's pictures, you're getting hit for it.
It's interesting. It's the way you're using them because what they're doing is if you go in and you build, your website, let's just
Right.
say, and you find this really pretty picture that you want to put up there, even though it'll crash,
Right.
Samsung phones. So you copy this image and you download it to your hard drive, and then you build your website and you upload it into your server space. Okay, and then you have it there as the background on your website, so that it'll crash Samsung phones. And well, guess what? You just stole that image.
Right.
You don't have the right to use that image. That image belongs to someone else. You're stealing an artist's work. So instead, you're clever. You think you're so smart. You go ahead and you say, well, look, I don't even have to download it. Let me just find the URL of that exact image, where it's located on the web, and I'll just paste that into my website. So I'm not actually hosting it. It's not on my server.
Right.
It's on his server.
Right.
And I've just brought it, and it's just showing here on my website. Well, guess what? The average user running through your website has no clue where that image is coming from.
Right.
It might be delayed a few milliseconds from your own stuff that's loading. Hell, it might even load faster depending upon how oomphy the server is that
Right.
the guy has the image on. But people were taking their Instagram photos, and people were cleverly borrowing
Yep.
Instagram photos by using the link to the Instagram photo and putting it over on their site and saying, look, I'm not stealing it. I didn't download it. I didn't steal it. I'm borrowing it. Well, to me, that is the ultimate in rude, because it does two things. Number one, you're not giving them any credit. You're not paying them anything for it. You're getting all the benefit of it, and they are paying for the server space and the bandwidth for you to run that on your website.
Yep.
You are stealing not just their image and their credit, but you're also stealing their web service that they pay for out of their pockets.
Yep.
To have that image posted on the internet.
Yep. So stop
it's
that.
Double theft at that point.
Make your own
and
stuff.
it has now, Instagram has now cut down on it.
Good.
And said, absolutely not. You may not do that, at least with Insta. And frankly, you shouldn't be doing it anyway, because you're stealing from makers.
Right.
Don't steal from makers. They have a hard enough time without, and we started it at the beginning of the conversation with everything's free. Let's come back to that. Okay? No, it isn't.
free.
So don't steal from people
That's
because you
right.
think it should be free.
All right, so if you have any questions, or you have any concerns, you have anything you want us to talk about, text Shamans at webeamtv.com. You can get us there. And
We take requests.
yeah, and we were going to talk about a couple more things, but I think we have time to talk about this next week. So with that being said, thank you for watching. We know you have other stuff to do, and you can have other stuff to watch. And
Happy Father's Day.
oh yeah, well that's next week.
Nope, it's Sunday.
Yep. Happy Father's Day. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
We got the plans, cause we are the tech shamans. We understand, cause we are the tech shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Cool.